This tutorial is about year-end. What's year-end and how do we do that in uLaw? Now, year-end is a process where you want to take all your basically your expenses and revenue, sum them up, kind of get an income statement, which is basically a profit and loss or a P&L statement, and move all that earnings to retained earnings in your capital. Now, to make it in much more layman terms, all the revenue that you would have made in these different categories over the year and the expenses that you would have actually incurred over the year need to be summed up, which is actually your profit or loss statement, and that amount needs to be moved into your retained earnings account. So that way, every year when you would go into the retained earnings account, in 2 seconds you can actually see how much money you actually made for that year. Now, the process of year end is pretty meticulous. You need to make sure that you kind of made sure certain things are actually completed before you actually can post an year end. What we would like to ensure that you made sure all your accounts receivables for the year are all posted. Basically, all the invoices that you wanted to raise in that year have all been done. Make sure that all the checks that you received have all been posted properly, and and all your accounts payables, like the money that you owe to your co-workers and everything has all been paid. Once you have reached a stage where everything looks good, you want to go ahead and do your year end. Now, year end is a day that you mark in your calendar where you say that that will be the day where I'll close the books. Now, the way uLaw does that is you go into settings, and if you go into accounts, by default we mark December the 31st of every year as the year end. You're free to choose that, you're free to change that, but we generally give you as December as the default one. Now, to do year end, you have to go into an administration mode. To do that, you would click on the action button, go on administrator, and actually enable yourself as an admin. Once you enable yourself as an admin, you'll now see that the year end button is not it's now highlighted, and you can actually perform an year end. Now, obviously now it's still the month of November, so I would not be doing year end at this point, and that's why it's suggesting me to do a year end for the previous date. But any day after December the 31st, what you can do is you can go ahead and choose the day. You can go ahead and choose the day when you actually want to do the year end, mark it up, make sure that you verified the date. We also want to make sure that you actually downloaded your balance sheet. So once you have downloaded, you would check that. Make sure you have downloaded the trial balance, and once you have done that, you would click this. And similarly, once you have done your P&L, profit and loss statement, and downloaded that one, you would click here. Now, once you have accepted all this, you would be given the go-ahead to actually do a year end, and you would actually click on year end. When you would do a year end, uLaw will generate a P&L statement for that year that you can actually file. So to summarize, you would go into action button, enable yourself, and then do year end, where you would make sure that you actually downloaded the balance sheet, verified everything is fine, download the trial balance, verified that everything is fine, download the P&L statement, verified everything is fine, make sure that your year-end date is actually correct, and then do an year-end process. At this point, I'm actually going to do a year-end as if my year-end was September the 30th. So to do that, I would go into the September month and choose my year-end. To be September the 30th. Accept the fact that the date is good. I've downloaded all my statements, and I'll click on year end. Now, once I click on year end, what uLaw will do is it will do a full income statement for all postings up to September 2013 and will actually generate an year. Notice that the year-end statement clearly tells us, like, what are all the revenue that we made and what are all the expenses that we had, what is the total, and what the total profit that we actually made during that term. Now, if I would go back to accounts and actually look at my retained earnings account and look for all transactions, I would see a September 30th posting that would actually showcase to me all the debit entries and the credit entries.